Welcome in to the Casual Chaos Live podcast. I'm your host, Jay Ash. It's 8:15 on a Wednesday evening. I'm here with my reliable co-host, Jeff. How are you, Jeff?
I'm doing all right, brother. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I say my reliable host because we're now running an every other week weave with our former co-host, Bubba. I say former just because he's not here tonight. It doesn't mean he's not on the trading block. He's not in the draft. He's not in the lottery. He's just not here tonight because life happens. So we're gonna miss him. But as always, we're professionals, and we're gonna run a 3-man weave with myself, Jeff, and producer Tyler. Producer Tyler, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. I am enjoying myself a nice orange last rep right now. So ask me again in 20 minutes, and it will be better than it was right now.
That's what I'm talking about. That's how we promote sponsors without a segment. So, with that being said, we've got a nice little show tonight. We've got some Derby talk to catch up on. We've got we're in the thick of NBA and NHL playoffs. We've got some MLB to talk about, and we've got all our categories and all the fun wagers we like to do. But unless I'm mistaken, I believe we have some talking tickets to get into tonight, sponsored by producer Tyler. Why don't you take it from there?
Yes, sir. Sponsored by Last Rep. Before we start talking tickets again, thank you to Last Rep. Look, we all know the grind isn't just a buzzword. Whether you're hitting the gym or sweating a parlay until the West Coast games wrap up, your body takes the hit. That's why we've partnered with Last Rep, the world's first athletic recovery cocktail. It's a crisp, refreshing hemp-derived THC athletic recovery beverage designed specifically to help you dial it back, recover, and get ready for the next round. No hangover, no bloat, just the perfect way to settle in while we go over today's action. Whether you're crushing workouts, crushing parlays, or just crushing life, Last Rep's got your back. Recovery shouldn't be complicated. It should be convenient, effective, and taste damn good. This new and exciting seltzer is now available at select locations across Tampa Bay. However, here's the best part. As a Casual Chaos listener, you can grab yours with 20% off using promo code CHAOS at trylessrep.com. That's code CHAOS, CHAOS, for 20% off. And again, I know I've said it several times, but we have now not only the great OG lime, but we have the new orange flavor that is terrific. I'm enjoying one right now. It is great. If you like Sun-Kissed Crush, any orange beverage, you will like this drink. So again, 20% off. Use code CHAOS at trylessrep.com. Whew. And scene. And scene. Unfortunately, we'll start off with myself. Me and a couple buddies were together on Derby, as probably a lot of America was. Best 2 minutes in sports. Couple Derby horses here that I had. Wonder Dean, I think, was a big long shot. I said, I got to put one of the long shots in there. Clearly picked the wrong one. So I had Wonder Dean and I had Emerging Market. That was the way I was leaning for the race. Clearly, neither of those hit. So I did take a loss in those two bets. Those two ponies did not pull it off for me, unfortunately. But on the positive side, in race 10, down in Laurel Park, again, when I said me and some buddies were gambling, this is my buddy Nick here. He was throwing everything at the kitchen sink. He had this one in Laurel Park. We were looking at every track. So this one hit a nice little trifecta boxed in there. So $12, won his money back plus $12. So not too shabby there for Nick. And then switching over to some hockey. Hockey, we had Rain Man here bet on the Anaheim Ducks Oilers game 6. That Anaheim ended up coming and winning and moving on to the next round. He had Connor McDavid to score a goal at plus 120. Unfortunately, Connor McDavid did not find the back of the net. On the positive side, he also had Vasily Podkolzin, $50, paid out $150. So he won his money back on his McDavid bet plus $50. So all in all, wasn't exactly what he was looking for, but he won money, so you can't be upset. Rain Man, good job.
I like it.
Yeah, well done.
Yes, sir. And then this one, Johnny Hammer threw this one out there. Little trifecta box with the 6, 12, 15, and 18 in the Derby. Again, we all know if you didn't have Golden Tempo in your trifecta box, exacta boxes, any kind of box, you did not win money. So that is the case here for Johnny Hammer, unfortunately. On the positive, we had Jay Ash get another W here for the Casual Chaos crew. This one, he had the Pistons of Detroit -3 the other night against the Cavaliers. That took care of business. And then he also had the Oklahoma City Thunder -15 against another NBA franchise in the playoffs. And they covered. So a nice W there for Jay Ash. Love to see it.
We love to see it too. Winning's always better than losing. That's a pro tip.
Yes, we recommend it to everyone. And again, we also recommend Last Rep. So please go try lastrep.com, promo code chaos.
Come for the flavor, stay for the
well done.
functionality. That should be the new slogan for Last Rep. It's just delicious.
Yes.
That's it. Well, listen,
well, since we
go ahead.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, I think we're gonna probably.
I think we're going the same. Exactly right. So I mean, since we've been talking about the Derby, I think we might as well start there. I mean, we're a little bit late on it, but I'll say my piece and then pass the baton over to you. Really good race, fun race. Golden Tempo coming from. I'm sure you saw that video of the horse coming from dead last, basically, and taking care of business there. So 23-1. If you had Golden Tempo, you made some nice money there. So fun race. 3 of us had Chief Wallaby, and the Chief ended up coming in 4th. So not an awful performance, but not good enough. Jay, how'd you do? I know you had some money on it. How'd you do at the window?
It rhymes with not well. So listen,
it happens.
Absolutely no regrets. Welcome to horse racing if you haven't been here before. And that's the fun to me. That's the beauty of handicapping. I say it to people all the time. If you tell me your strategy is strictly numbers, I got a buddy who plays 4-7, period. Hard stop, doesn't do anything else. On any given day, that could be a great strategy. You could pick colors, you could pick horse names, you could pick jockey trainer combinations, connections, as they call it. It doesn't matter. Use what you want to identify a horse, exotic, however you want to put it together, and then ride with it, and then you're going to win or lose. The race was fun. It's the Kentucky Derby. It was awesome to watch. And as you pointed out, coming from last, that's the best part of watching at home, which makes it different than watching in person. No one at that track got to see that run, right? But when after the finish line and they start talking and everything and they show it again, just the methodical way Jose just kind of weaved in, weaved out, got a lane, and just go around. It was amazing. It's just so much fun to watch. The storylines, obviously, DeVoe, second woman to win a Triple Crown, first to win a Derby, phenomenal. Like it's just a great story. And if there was how many people that bet that horse just for that reason. So good for you. I love the fact that the Ortiz brothers went 1-2. I just think that's cool. It doesn't happen often. Obviously, there's not a lot of jockey brothers out there. So the fact that those two can go 1-2, what Irad did going in that dreaded 1 hole and actually pulling off a second was crazy. And then, again, I don't know anything about Ocelli. Like good for that horse. We weren't off on our Wallaby picks. He got pinched. He got crushed in the center. He ran a good race. He ran his race, and he actually still showed life towards the end. I was like, holy shit, he might catch 3rd for us. Like, let's go. He just got squeezed, as a lot of people do, or a lot of horses do in that 20-horse field. It's such a big field. It's so unpredictable. And, The last thing I'll say from a racing geek standpoint, as a buddy of mine pointed out right before the race, if you're paying attention all day long, the inside was the place to be. Not necessarily the rail, but the inside numbers, the twos and fours, the sixes, right? You did not see a lot of winners in the 9, 10, 11, 12 holes in the 12 horse races. So the concept of a 19 and a 22 post position coming in, 1-3, and then one sneaking in for 2. I don't believe anybody really saw that coming. I think if you hit the superfecta, you were throwing numbers together or storylines. It wasn't from these horses are going to be the 4 that cash, because everything's so unpredictable with that big of a race. So I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun. I would like a lot of my money back, but what are you going to do? I had a good undercard. We don't need to get into it. I had a really good undercard. I had a lot of guys that I knew at the event, and hey, let's hammer the 4 here, let's hammer the 6 here. A lot of those came in, so we had a decent day. But the Derby itself was it was low in calories.
On the negative side, Golden Tempo it was already announced is not running the Preakness, so no chance of a Triple Crown this year.
Just no fun. No fun.
Yeah, it sucks, but what are you gonna do? Speaking of the Ortiz brothers, it was a really good week for that family in general, because they have a cousin who is a pitching prospect with the Yankees. He was called up a couple days before the Derby. They needed somebody to pitch a couple of games for the Yanks, and his name is Elmer Rodriguez, by the way, but. He didn't necessarily have the best day in the world, but that family, between him coming up and throwing a couple games in New York, and the Ortiz brothers going 1-2, so not too shabby for that crew. So.
That's a ton of fun. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back to what you said, and we can move on. I heard a ton of pundits. I heard a ton of podcasts ahead of time that it almost didn't matter who won this race. They weren't going to run in the Preakness. And I don't know if I'm overly sensitive in my old age, but it just seems it's incomprehensible to me. It started to remind me of NIL money. It's starting to remind me of, new generations. And again, now all of a sudden I'm the old man, get off my lawn. But the reality is, if you win the Kentucky Derby, you should have your eyes set on the Triple Crown. If you're that big of an underdog and, hey, we won it, we don't need to do anything else. I don't want to say you're cheating the sport. That's arrogant of me that I have that kind of cachet. But the reality is, I just feel like it's an injustice. The whole point of this is to be a Triple Crown winner. If you're in it for that prestige. You know what I mean? It's the reason why Bob Baffert is revered outside of just being known as the Ric Flair of horse racing. Right? Like, that's the guy you want training your horse, because he wins Triple Crowns. And it's very, very hard to do. To just fold up the tent and just not be part of it, I just don't like it. And that's, again, old man, angry guy talking. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if the horse is healthy, and again, I don't know if he's dealing with any ailments or whatever, but if the horse is healthy, you would really like to see him run, so.
Yeah, and listen, for the vast audience, and you guys included, if you want to come at me and say, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 go listen to, just pick 10 random Kentucky Derby preview, and you will hear people talk openly about whoever wins. We need to start looking at Belmont odds for them, because they're not running in the Preakness. I'm not making this up. It's fucking out there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but like you said, it's a different world. So,
say lovey.
All right, yeah, let's move on to the NBA. So we all picked the winners of the second round on Monday before the game started. So let me just run through these real quick. Bubba and Tyler, you guys actually had the same 4 winners: Pistons, Knicks, Thunder, and Spurs. I had Spurs, Thunder, Knicks, and Cavs. So one difference on my end. And Jay, you're kind of all over the place. You got the Sixers, Detroit, the Spurs, and the Lakers, which isn't looking really good right now. But let's
I didn't
start
have
with
the
you.
Lakers.
What? Yeah, you did.
No, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
Then obviously
Tyler.
Hey,
if I type that, obviously it's a mistype. I didn't.
those letters are far away from each other.
That's fine. I'll pull up the ticket right now. I have fucking OKC in a sweep.
No. It did seem extreme. It did seem extremely odd, but I didn't question you on it because you did pick the Lakers in the first round. So I was like, maybe he's just riding with them, you know.
Yeah,
so
I thought you were saying from a gambling standpoint you would maybe because of just their what minus 10,000 or plus 10,000.
Yeah, no. I bet the Thunder on a sweep. So I apologize to the audience. I apologize. So I'll take it.
Right.
I'll wear it. That's fine.
No. We'll make that switch because it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Tyler even responded with the exclamation points.
Yeah.
So we all thought it was a little strange when we saw it. So okay. So we pretty much all have this. For the most part, we all have the same. Other than like Jay, you got the Sixers. We all got the Knicks, and I got the Cavs, and you guys all got Detroit. So not many differences there. All right. Anything you want to talk about as far as the end of the first round before we get into the second round? I mean, there were kind of a couple of surprises. I mean, the Celtics losing is kind of a surprise. Some of the series being as competitive as they were was probably surprising to some people. So anything else? I mean, anything I'm missing that caught your eye in the first round?
Unceremonious exit by Denver, obviously, we don't need to get into it. What are the ramifications? We listen to other pods that talk about this stuff ad nauseum in the right way. It's not a good look for Joker. If you're a Joker hater, this is fuel for the fire. If you're a Joker supporter, what are you going to do? His wingman was sidelined, but losing to a Minnesota team without Ant, without DiVincenzo, it's a little tough for 2 games. So it's not a good look.
It's rough. No, it's not a good look.
It's not a good look. So if you're Houston, not a good look there. I love all the talk of maybe LeBron goes back to the Lakers. I'm sure the Lakers would love to have LeBron back on a 42-year-old salary, not $50 million a year. So I wouldn't be shocked if LeBron wants to sign for, I don't want to even say the league minimum, but a $12 million contract. Why wouldn't you want him back? But the reality is, he's probably going to want 50 again because his name commands that. Doesn't matter what his age is. So let's not even get into Bronny. Other than that, I was really, really surprised at the 2 7-game series. Not necessarily surprised at the outcome, just surprised they went 7. The biggest storyline to me in the first round is just what happened to the Magic in Game 6. I heard some pretty funny things along the way, but that was even fake basketball in TV shows is better than what they saw. I mean, 19 points in the second half of a playoff game is it's insanity. So, but again, you're a Celtics fan, Jeff. I get it. They should be here. They, probably shouldn't have lost to the Sixers, but you nailed it going into Game 7. Missoula is going to either be a genius or he's going to be a GOAT because that lineup he threw out there out of a team that should have been more prepared than anybody, not having their best player for 65 games, to juggle a lineup like that didn't make any sense. Just put in the team that got you there the whole way, run the same system, and you should win that game, no?
Yeah, I mean, just starting Harper was, I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, they were down 1 point with 2 minutes to go. They had 5 chances to take the lead, and they threw up 5 3-pointers, and of course, none of them went in. So, they got nobody to blame but themselves. I mean, look, he's not. I mean, a lot of Celtics fans want Mazzulla to get fired. He's not getting fired, and he's not changing his coaching. Yeah, he's not changing his coaching style. I mean, it's what he believes in. And, you'd like to think that they could be flexible enough to understand the moment in certain situations. But, he pounds into them the 3-point shot, the 3-point shot, the 3-point shot. So that's all they look for, And to me, it doesn't matter if they're getting good looks, which they almost always do. You don't need a 3-pointer in that situation. You need a basket, And they turn down good shots to throw the ball out to shoot a 3. This isn't game 45 of the regular season. You're trying to advance in the playoffs. Take the freaking layup that they're giving you. You know what I mean?
No
So
doubt.
I don't know. It's very strange, but we'll talk a little bit more about the Celtics in a second. Let's talk about these series. Again, as I mentioned, they've already started. OKC manhandled the Lakers the other night. I can't imagine it's going to be much different moving forward. I saw something today that Luka is very frustrated, which to me sounds like he's not getting any better, which is not shocking. So I just don't see. And LeBron actually had a good game too in Game 1. You would think that the fact that they got beat by almost 20, that maybe he had one of those off shooting nights or whatever, but he actually had a pretty good game. So, what happens to Game 2 if he struggles? My goodness. Reeves, on the other hand, I think shot like 3 for 17 or something like that. So he had a rough one. But yeah, there's not much to talk about with that one. How about the Knicks Sixers? Jay, you're the Sixers fan. What again? Embiid's not playing tonight. Are the Sixers still winning? You guys have a score in front of you?
I will grab it right now.
It just went to commercial here, so
62-61 at half. So 76ers are up.
Okay. So Jay, what's your thoughts on that series?
Little bit of lightning in a bottle against the Celtics. So can you keep that over? We said it right before we came live. They were destined to lose Game 1, just because Knicks had a little bit of rest, had been playing well. Buried the Hawks coming in. You're leaving it all on the floor in Game 7 of a road game, that you're not supposed to win. So the Sixers are happy to be there. Embiid, he played. He didn't play the whole game, Game 1. Can they win this series? Yes. Do I think they're going to win this series? I hope. Would I be shocked if they lost in 5 or 6? No. But the thing with the Knicks is when they're hot, and they can go cold for a couple games in a row. So if I'm a Knicks fan, I like what I saw. I like the 30-point, close to 30-point win in Game 1. Brunson's a machine. If Cat plays like that, those two going to be tough to beat. A lot of wild cards, a lot of inconsistency, questionable coaching at times, and they are an ankle away and somebody missing 1 or 2 games where Philly could again steal this. But we also have Maxey is the focal point of the Sixers right now, and it still matters if Embiid plays, or so if we can get a healthy Embiid for the next 4 games, yeah, we'll see. I think they got a legit shot.
Yeah. Okay. I don't disagree. I think the Knicks are obviously the favorite, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Sixers ended up pulling out the series win. So that's what's next. Knicks Cavs. Cavs Pistons. I actually have the Cavs winning that series. I know Detroit won Game 1 at home. Game was pretty competitive for a while, and then Detroit finally pulled away there at the end. I told you guys, I really don't know what to think of that series. You never know what you're going to get from either team on any given night. So I just, it's a miracle that Detroit even got this far. We were talking about the awful game, the shooting game the other night, the 19-point game, but Orlando had a couple of ridiculously bad shooting nights in that series too. And the other, that Detroit series. So I just don't know what to expect. I picked the Cavs only because I trust their offense more. Detroit's obviously got the better D, but yeah. So I have no faith in my pick of the Cavs. To me, it was a coin flip. So
I bet Detroit for the series. I bet Detroit tomorrow night. We'll talk about that a little later. I don't think the series is. It might be some competitive games. I don't think it's going to be a competitive series. I definitely don't think it goes 7 or even 6. I think Cleveland's not constructed really for the playoffs. I think playoff James Harden is a real thing. I think they have a questionable front line. And I think Detroit got a wake-up call that they desperately needed. They're still young. But at the end of the day, they're one of 3 teams to win 60 games. And you don't win 60 games in the regular season on accident. So playoff Tobias Harris is a real thing. Cade is the real deal. So I don't see any reason why this goes to a 7-game series. I just think Cleveland, they have too many pieces that have been questionable, and they don't have a true alpha to just rally everybody in a way to snatch this series and keep going. I just think, again, I'll refer to his playoff James Harden. I think he brings down the locker room. I really do. I know his teammates love him. I'm sure he's the best guy in the world, but I don't think anybody looks across the room and goes, that guy's going to make us, get us a win tonight.
Yeah, trust me, I have no faith in Harden, but Mitch, it's more Mitchell's team than it is anybody else, and he can go off at any time. So we'll see what happens. I mean, game 2 will be interesting. We'll see if they could steal that tomorrow night. And that brings us to what might be the best series of the 4. Although tonight's probably a must-win game for San Antonio. Hard to say game 2 is must-win, but you can't really go down 0-2 when you're playing at home. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, Minnesota, seems to turn it up when they get into the playoffs every year. So San Antonio coming off of a game where Wemby and Fox had awful shooting nights. They were 0 for 12 from 3 combined. I think they shot something like 30% combined overall, the two of them. So and the good side of things, Castle and Harper, the two young guns, had good games. So that's good to see. But yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, if San Antonio loses this game, they go down 0-2 head into Minnesota. I mean, they're in big trouble. So it'll be. I'm really interested in watching that game tonight. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think San Antonio wins tonight. I think they played a tough competitive game. I think Minnesota bullied them around. I think they had an opportunity to give that game away, which would have been catastrophic for Minnesota. If you're a fan of it, maybe that's Spurs and 5 all of a sudden. There's no reason with Ant healthy, even minus DiVincenzo, that they can't make this a series. And we're going to see if the talking heads are correct in, that whole standpoint of, if you're the Spurs, be happy, you're ahead of schedule. We'll, make 1 or 2 more moves, solidify this. They need the experience, need to taste your own blood, however you want to phrase it. But I think the Spurs win tonight. I don't know if they cover that number tonight, but I think they win the game tonight. And we'll see what happens game 3. It doesn't change my opinion that the Spurs win this series. I think a lot of people are over-indexing for the fact that Minnesota stole the game, and people steal games all the time in the NBA.
Yeah, but again, it's like I said. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's not much to worry about if San Antonio pulls out tonight's game. But if they don't, I mean, down 0-2 going to. I mean, it's not like Minnesota's a crappy team. Yeah. So, well, anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm with you. I expect the Spurs to win. So.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're just 100% with intent for a laugh. I mean, every team has a chance to win until they lose the series. Like, what the fuck? So I get it. Down 2-0's no good, but I just don't see it tonight. If they see it, let's do an emergency pod tomorrow, and we can come back on and say, yeah, San Antonio's in trouble.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if San Antonio doesn't advance, I don't see anybody that's left dealing with OKC. No. Minnesota. Minnesota, OKC would make. They're like one of the teams that would make Gobert, a non-factor. Like, I don't know if he could even play against OKC. Right. So, we'll see what happens there. But okay, I was going to talk about the Celtics a little bit more, specifically about the whole Jaylen Brown thing. But you know what? I'm over that right now. So. I don't want to deal with it. We talked about the main thing that, their style of play and the coaching and blah, blah, blah. I mean, they do have to make some changes next year. They can't run it back. I mean, that's the only good thing that came out of that loss is that they won't run back the same roster next year? Because if they went to the, let's say they actually got to the finals, like some of us were predicting, it wouldn't have been shocking to see them almost bring that exact same team back next year. But I don't think there's any way they could do that after what Embiid did to them. They need to get another legitimate big guy. That's their number one priority in this offseason. So anyway, all right, Tyler, your favorite time of the pod. What's going on with the NHL?
The Lightning are out, Jeff. Lightning couldn't get it done
Yeah.
in Game 7, unfortunately. Had every chance in the world to win the game. They only gave up 9 shots, and they lost the game. And if you're a Lightning fan, you're obviously betting money line with the Lightning. I also had Andrei Vasilevsky to have over 22.5 saves. That never had a chance after the second period when they literally didn't have a shot. So unfortunately, Lightning are out. Moving on to next year with them. Bracket wise, right now, again, Avalanche look like just a different team than everyone else. Again, it's very similar to the Western Conference in the NBA, where you just got the Thunder just rolling over people. They won again last night. I think they scored 9 goals in the first game of that series. That's just crazy. Got the Golden Knights. Golden Knights are up 1-0. They play again tonight. I expect the Ducks to win that and make that a competitive series. They were the highest odds to win the Stanley Cup pre-playoff start. Obviously, long way to go. They would have to go through the Avalanche to get there, so I'm not saying that. But if they win another series, whoever's sitting on that ticket, if they win a couple games, maybe you can cash out or something. I don't know. Make some of your money back potentially. But I expect the Golden Knights to handle that at some point, probably in 6. And then Buffalo Canadians. Buffalo's up 4-2 in Game 1 right now. I think Buffalo will handle business on that one. That city's rocking. They won a victory. Those two cities both are electric for hockey. These games will be a lot of fun. I don't know if the Canadians can score with the Sabres from a goals aspect. I mean, every game in the Lightning series the most goals were 3 goals. So, I mean, that's not going to pan out at some point. You're going to have to score a 4 or 5 goal game to get on the positive side of it. Right now, they're down 4-2. So, I mean, that's an uphill climb. And if that's what it looks like, it'll be tough for them to get through the Sabres. And then you got the Carolina Hurricanes and the Flyers. Flyers beat Pittsburgh, beat Penguins in their series. Awesome series. I think Carolina's just too much for them. They're already up 2-0. They did play in an overtime game the other night, but I just think Carolina's too much. Too much skill, too much talent. They were the better team all year. I just think that they'll outlast that. So I think it's probably going to be all the way they do their seeding, all 1 seed moving on to the final, the Final Four essentially. And I think the Avalanche will see that through at some point down the road here. So from a gambling aspect, they are probably plus like 200 or 300 at this point, maybe even not even that high. Again, I'm not sure what OKC is either, but both of those teams would be substantial favorites to win the title.
Yeah, OKC is minus. I think they're like minus 175 or something like that.
Yeah, so they're
right
probably in the same ballpark. I would. My guess would be. I don't have Action Network pulled up right now, but that would be my guess. So good series. The next series of if it's the Knights and Avalanche will be electric as well. So playoff hockey is always fun though. Again, just touch on a little basketball. That SGA guy's doing some spectacular shit right now as far as just being the most efficient basketball player ever, apparently.
He finally didn't score 20 points though. He scored 18 last night. So
dude, he's just unbelievable.
I know.
But yeah, so that's hockey. We'll keep monitoring it. We'll see if there's ways. I got some bets on our categories this week to throw some hockey in there. So there's definitely opportunities to win some money right now in the hockey world with all these games and goals and goal scorers. There's definitely opportunities right now.
All right. Well, there's our NHL report. Tyler, you actually reminded me of something I wanted to do in the NBA segment. So real quick, before the playoffs started, we all picked our championship, or I should say our title winner. I have the Spurs winning. They're still alive. You guys and Bubba all picked Denver to win. So with Denver being out, we're going to give you guys a redo. You're going to throw another fictional $100 on somebody to win the title. Who do you guys got out of the remaining teams?
Well, if I already lost my other fictional $100, I'd probably just put $100 on OKC to win some of that money, fictitious money, back. It wouldn't be much, but it'd be something. I just don't see another. I mean, I don't see another team beating them, man. They just seem so fucking good right now. So I would, if I'm not doing that, the Knicks, just because Brunson's playing well and if Cat's playing well, maybe they can give him some matchup issues. But I don't know if they can do that. But that'd be the two teams I would look at.
All right.
Yeah, obviously I got the Lakers.
I knew it.
Yeah, if I'm just picking a winner to replace Denver, then it's still coming out of the West. So I'll take OKC. It doesn't change my East pick. I believe I still had Detroit coming out of the East, so I'll stick with that. As much as I'd love to see the Sixers, if they get past the Knicks, then obviously, you know.
But I had the Celtics, which is obviously a dead deal, but I didn't have the Celtics win it at all. So so I'll stick with the Spurs. Did Bubba give a pick, Tyler? Did he shoot you a pick for the winner or no?
Let me take a look real quick. I think he might have said it in our group.
Yeah, I don't think so. Cause I don't remember it. Yeah,
no,
all right, no big deal.
He did not.
Okay, so MLB. Believe it or not, once we get to this weekend, they'll be a quarter of way through the season already. So it's flying by. American League is looking scary in a bad way. Right now, there's only 3 teams over 500, and 2 of them are the Yankees and Tampa, who are battling out for first place in the AL East. The Yankees look really good. Their pitching staff has been as advertised. Judge having another good year. Rice, following up on the nice year he had last year. Right now, he's having a monster year. I assume he'll regress at some point. Tampa, again, having a really good first part of the season. They're another team that's sort of living on their pitching right now because their offense has really not been doing much. They're outplaying their expected record by a lot. So we'll have to see what happens there. I mean, sometimes teams just have a season like that where they end up winning games that the metrics say they shouldn't be winning, but sometimes it catches up to a team like that and they regress. So we'll see what happens there. In the NL, Dodgers are having a nice year. Nothing special right now. Their offense is struggling a little bit, so that's part of the reason why they're sort of battling with the Padres for first place in that division. The Cubs having a really good year, battling with the Yankees for top record in baseball right now. Mets, stink. We said it before the season started that they basically revamped their whole team, and it was either obviously gonna work or it wasn't. And right now it doesn't look like they made some good moves there. So people are not happy with that GM. The Phillies fired their manager and brought in Donnie Baseball, who I should say promoted Donnie Baseball to replace him. I think they're 7-1 since that happened. So looks like it was a good move. Lit a fire under the players' asses, which is never a bad thing. And of course, we should talk about the Red Sox firing Cora too. I mean, again, this happened a couple weeks ago, but we hadn't talked about it yet. So it's interesting seeing these teams make those kinds of changes so early in the season. I mean, it's very unusual, especially for teams like Boston and Philadelphia, who generally understand that it's a long season and things generally even out. But they got rid of two successful managers, in like game 30, which you just don't see that very often. So, uh, Tyler, if you've been paying attention to Tampa, or are you still caught up in hockey? You're not really into baseball yet.
Yeah, you got 2 months before you get me on a baseball diamond there, Jeff. Unless you got a World Baseball Classic thrown in the middle of it. No, I'm just paying attention to it, just being in Tampa, listening to it on the radio and hearing how they're just kicking ass right now. And we were talking in text. It's just crazy how they seem to always just punch above their weight class. In the AL East, in a good division, they always seem to just be in the mix and be a thorn in somebody's side. I don't think there's any team in the AL East that likes playing the Rays, or just they all probably think the same way about the Rays. Like, damn, they should be bad every year, and they're not. They're just competitive. So
nobody likes playing in that place, man.
Well, yeah, that place is garbage as well. Crazy that the Red Sox fired their coach, by the way, and everyone but the general manager that let Bregman pretty much come in and then walk, because you got rid of Devers because you got Bregman, and then you let Bregman leave. Like, they just fire everyone so he keeps his job? Because how does that guy not get fired?
Well, he's buddies with the owner.
Yeah, that's how.
That's how.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Trop, that place looks a lot better now that it's actually light in there. I mean, remember how dark that place used to be? Have you guys seen that place? Since they put like that new roof on, it's so much brighter in that place. It looks so much better. I mean, again, the place is still a disaster. Don't get me wrong, but it does look, no pun intended, it does look night and day compared to what it looked like a couple years ago. So, Jay, thoughts on baseball?
Thoughts on baseball, and sticking to the ethos of this podcast, a gambling podcast. I have a $10 wager that will pay $9,586, and that will happen if the Atlanta Braves win the NL East, first place. Athletics win the AL West, first place. New York Yankees win the AL East, first place. Chicago Cubs, NL Central, first place. Kansas City Royals, 2 games out of first place. So my thoughts are, I like what's happening in Major League Baseball.
You're almost to stop the count. Almost to stop the count. Just stop the season. Give us a...
Yeah. I'm right there. Yeah, I'm actually getting a $66 cash out offer on the $10 bet, which is not appealing when we have 9,500 that we can get there. But talk to me at the halfway point, and the Royals are actually in first place as a 500 team, and now we're cooking. So,
and you've been doing really. I know you've been riding the Yankees so far earlier this year. You've been making some money on them. So, I mean, you've been doing pretty well, right, with your baseball bets so far?
Yeah, we're way up on the season so far, because I have been riding the Yanks, typically the run lines, so I'm getting plus money on everything. And when they're not winning a lot of close games in typical Yankee fashion, they're either mashing the ball or they're getting beat. So it makes sense to just play them at the plus odds versus the minus. I've been hitting a handful of parlays too, whether that's either in call it statistical plays, right, where we're going against or on win streaks with multiple teams, or just looking at some matchups. I've hit more than my fair share of 3 and 4 team parlays already. So we're way up on the ROI. We're way up on the plus, and I like my futures so far. So. And the best part about being a Yankee fan and winning these bets is the pitching staff is not what it's going to be. And we're in great shape if Rodon and Cole can come back and, be in that 85% of who they are and not have to make massive adjustments. And if they don't come back, it looks like the starters we have are actually holding form. So let's keep hoping for no injuries. I don't see a lot of shakeup here that's going to do anything. Like, we mentioned the Mets, like that season's already done. There's nothing coming from there. And your point of a lot of sub 500 teams, even in the NL, it's going to make for good, entertaining baseball along the way. It's not like everybody's, winning at a 30-40% clip. Everybody's floating around 500. So maybe there's just a lot of parity, and we'll see what the trade deadline does. And the teams that are even 5, 6, 7 games back are going to have a little bit of, an opportunity. So I think it's going to be fun down the stretch, but let's go Yanks.
Yeah, and it's again with the third the third wild card, it changes. It keeps teams alive.
Yeah, it's anti-tanking. It's anti-NBA
All
tanking.
Right. All right.
Like
well, I guess we could jump into the categories.
Let's.
like categories.
Where we want to start? I can start off with my own here. For lock of the week.
All right.
Last week I had the Celtics -5.5. They did not get the job done, lost outright. I think that was in Game 6, and never had a chance there. This week I'm gonna go with the Pistons -3.5. I'm with Jay. I'm not a huge James Harden guy, and I think the Pistons are better, so I'm just gonna ride with the Pistons -3.5.
Last week I had Denver -6.5, and that did not work. This week, despite Jay being a little dubious at the number, I got the Spurs -9.5. So that's tonight. Again, like Jay said earlier, I do expect the Spurs to win, and I kind of have a feeling they're going to win big. So -9.5.
I like it. Last week, my lock of the week was Cam Young top 10, and he did just that by winning the tournament as well. So luckily, I had a ticket on him winning the tournament as well. So that was a fun week. Had a really nice golf week. We can get into that later. But I've got the Pistons -3.5 tomorrow night as my lock.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
How
I
about
feel
you?
good about it.
How about your dog, Jay?
Underdog of the week or prop? Where do you want to go?
Either. I mean, whatever you prefer.
Okay. Well, let's do the prop. Last week I had Ricky Fowler +350 to top 10. That was a cash. And this week I'm sticking with golf, and I'm going Sam Burns +300 to top 10 at Quail Hollow.
All right. Last week I went big on the prop. I had Joker with 20 boards at +750. He only ended up with 10. This week, more realistic, I got Stefan Castle with at least 2 threes tonight at plus, I think it's 119. So he's been shooting the ball really well from 3 for a while now. So I'm surprised that number is plus for only 2 threes. So Tyler, what do you got for a prop?
Last week I had Connor McDavid over 3.5 shots. He had 3 shots, so catching the loss there on the half point. This week I'm going with Zegras of the Anaheim Ducks. I will call them the Mighty Ducks because that's what their logo should be. They should go back to the retro. But he is special with the puck in his hand. If you haven't watched him, he's like a literal video game. When he has the puck, he's a magician. I think he'll get in the scorers column, and I think the Ducks come back and win Game 2. So that is my prediction there. And I'll just jump right into the dog because I just said it pretty much. I have the Anaheim Ducks +130 tomorrow night, or I think it's tonight actually. Tonight. Last week I had Chris Goddard up to be the top U.S. player. I'm not sure he made the cut. Clearly, when a U.S. player wins and his name isn't Chris Goddard, I got this wrong. So,
all right.
This week I got the Ducks. Quack, quack, quack.
Okay. Last week I had the.
Sorry.
Last week I had the Atlanta Hawks. That was a loss. Another 0 for 3 week in this segment last week. This week, you could tell I'm honest because I had the Blue Jays at +113. That was a day game, but I just didn't see them getting swept in this series, and getting swept is what happened. So that's already an L for me.
All right, then. Last week, my dog of the week was the Phillies +130. That came in. That's a win, cash. And this week, my dog of the week is going to be the Sixers tonight +185.
Nice.
So what's the score there?
84-83. Sixers are down by 1. potentially about to go up. We'll see what happens. But just
All right.
if anybody's interested, and I don't know why you would or wouldn't be, but I've run the table 2 weeks in a row in the categories. That's 6-0, and looking back in the last 4 weeks, we're a paltry 10 out of 12 plays. So
No. Nice.
might want to get on board.
3 weeks in a row, you're going with a Philly team and your dog. You just think that the city of brotherly love is the city of dogs.
It's a blue collar city, Tyler. It's a lunch pail town. We come to work. We come to work,
baby.
Let's go.
Clock in, clock out.
That's how we grind. Let's go.
Well, you're 6-0 over the last 2 weeks. I'm 0-6. The funny thing is, I was actually on a pretty good run myself before these last 2 weeks, but that's turned to shit. So we'll see what happens. All right, bragging rights. I don't think we had a winner last week, did we?
No, I think this one was you here, Jeff. Hawks plus 2.5.
Yeah, that's me. The only thing I went 1-3. The only thing that came in was the over in that Mets game. So it was a bad NBA night for me all around.
Happens. This was Bubba. He had, I think, all those teams lost. Pistons might have won that game actually. But
I mean, the Nuggets definitely lost. So
did the Celtics, and the over did not hit in that Lightning game. I think it was 5 because it was 3-2, I believe. Or that might have been the 1-0 game actually. Either way, didn't hit. Jay, this was you. 76ers, Nuggets, Lightning, Lakers.
Yeah, not a lot of that was good. Not a lot of that was good at all. Sixers were good. Nuggets were not. Lightning were good. Lakers were not. So I believe that was a 2-4 ticket. Luckily for me, I've been writing my category plays alongside with my bragging rights. So if you follow me on bragging rights, you're probably telling me to ed up and move on. So I don't blame you, and I'll just jump the shark right now. You're not going to be happy with me tonight either. So.
Well, we can jump right into it. It looks like there you go.
Yeah. I got the Yankees tonight minus 1.5. They're already down 8-1. Oh no, that's Jeff, isn't it?
No,
sorry.
I was about to say Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I do not have the Yankees. We talking before we started recording, but for whatever reason, they just don't hit Evaldi. So I stayed away from that game. The one thing I was actually looking at was the under, but I'm glad, based on the score you just gave me, I'm glad I stayed away from that too. So, okay, I got the Knicks over, the Knicks Sixers, I should say, over 213.5. So we just need a combined score of 214. We're looking pretty good on that right now, but you never know what'll happen in the fourth. I got Castle. As I did with my prop, I got Castle making at least 2 3-pointers. I got Randall making at least 2 3-pointers, and I have Ant Edwards making at least 3 3-pointers. 25 pays 467. That's basic, just a little bit under 18-1. So
beautiful.
Well, I will tell you this, Jeff. I put that in. I piggybacked you, knowing that was what you put in, and I took that for $10 with a profit boost to win 245. So I'm rooting for you.
Nice. Well, I'm rooting for you.
And we're also rooting for Bubba. And Bubba's this week is Lakers plus 15.5, the Rays money line, Astros money line, and then he has the Sabres Canadians over 5.5, which that has already hit. The Rays have already hit. Let's see where he's at with the Astros are lost 12-2. So never mind. I'll chalk that up to never mind.
Yeah. Did you hear that Correa is out for the year for them, Jay?
Is he really?
Yeah, he tore up his ankle. He's done.
Welcome home, son. Welcome home.
Yeah, seriously.
Now you can go over yours, Jay, why this is dead.
Yeah. I got the Yankees minus 1.5, as we talked about earlier, and they're down 8-1. So that's a giant bag of suck it. I've got the Sixers plus 10.5 tonight. Obviously, I like them on the money line, so 10.5 was super tasty. And the rest doesn't really matter. So if you're looking at the ticket, we got Castle over 1.5. threes, just like Jeff talked about. And I just don't see how it matters. But we could potentially go 3-1 with Brunson over 26.5 points, and he's at 18 right now. So I think he still gets there. He's good for 10 points. He's about to hit a 3. Nope. So at best I can go 3-1 tonight. I think I'm going to go 3-1 tonight, and it's disturbing.
Yeah. We're the kings of going 3-1.
Yeah, it's good straight up, but that's, listen, again, parlays are difficult.
Very much so.
We've certainly proved that over the past 12 months.
Yeah, that's what this whole podcast is. We're actually changing the name. We've been in talks, workshopping. Casual chaos parlays are difficult.
It's funny too, because I mean, not necessarily this week, but Bubba for the past few weeks, he'd been going. He'd been picking sort of like he's trying to pick as sure things. You know what I mean? He's picking teams that are like -150, -170. He was just trying to get a W, and he still can't get one. It's great. It's crazy, man. It's tough. Parlays are tough.
If I was Bubba, I would before I did my bragging rights, I would text Rain Man and have him remind me that shooters shoot. And what Bubba's doing is playing scared money. So we could bring this up on the show. He's going to listen to this. We're not speaking out of school here. So Bubba just needs to sit down and remind himself what got him here.
Yeah. Well, to be clear, I wasn't making fun of Bubba. I was just trying to make a point that even if you go with the favorites, it's not easy to win 4 games.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not making fun of him. It's just you're just like you said. It's just like I'm going to play my 4-year-old one-on-one. I should win. So let's bet that at minus whatever. So all good. Well, we've hit the categories. We've hit the bragging rights. We've hit talking tickets. We've covered everything, which brings us to the end of our podcast. So as always, follow us on all the socials at Casual Chaos Live. We're You Social. We social too. So Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. We're out there. Find us. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Last Rep. Enjoy all things at lastrep.com and use that chaos promo code for 20% off. Free shipping in the state of Florida, legal in 32 states. Check it out. Give it a try. You won't be disappointed. We're happy to have their sponsorship. And as always, we miss Bubba when he's MIA, but we understand why he couldn't be here tonight. We'll see him again next week, and we'll pick this back up. Again, this is Wednesday night. We're signing off at 9:15. Thanks to Jeff. Thanks to producer Tyler. I'm Jay Ash, and bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.